What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word? Hummingbird. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Kandi and the Gang Season 1, Episode 7, an invitation situation. So let's start off with the restaurant. So we are at OLG and Philip is there, Brandon is there, and Don Juan is there. Philip in his confessional says that Brandon comes to work. He's good about coming to work, but when he shows up, not much else happens after that. So then we see Brandon up against the wall on his phone texting. And every time that the camera was on Brandon, all he was doing was texting. There was some type of issue with one of the sinks or one of the drains, I think in the bar area. It wasn't in the kitchen, I think it was in the bar area. So something is clogged up and there's water everywhere. And Brandon is just on his phone, busy texting. And then there's another scene where one of the employees comes up to Philip and tells Philip that they need to order more of something. They're running low on some type of supplies or something. And Philip was like, you know what? I have my hands so full with all the things that this restaurant needs. Just go ahead and put that on the list of other things that we need to get. So a staff member or an employee has an issue, they go to Philip because I guess they already know that Brandon isn't going to do much of anything. So this episode made Brandon look really, really bad. I don't know if he had an issue or he got into it with somebody in production, because as we all know, when it comes to reality TV, if you have an issue or if you have some type of beef or if production doesn't like you for some reason, they will edit you to make you look really bad and crazy. So Brandon is in this episode, they made him look like he was lazy. He was not attending to the staff, not attending to the customers. And I don't know how empty or how crowded the restaurant was that day, but I know that if I was a customer there and I saw the manager just standing up against the wall texting, yeah, I'd have an issue with that, especially with the bad reviews that this restaurant gets. So and with Brandon, I would think that even if he really had nothing to do, which we all know, obviously he did have something to do. But if he really, really had nothing to do, why don't you act like you're doing something? You know, go bust a table, go wipe down a countertop, go refill some water glasses, greet people at the door, do something. Don't just stand there on your phone the whole entire time while you have Don Juan and Philip on their hands and knees trying to fix a clogged drain and mopping up water, dirty, disgusting, murky water everywhere. It was not a good look. It was not a good look. Brandon on his phone, Don Juan and Philip trying to unclog drains, trying to deal with the staff. It was not a good look for Brandon at all. Moving on from there, we are at the wig shop with Chandrika, Torin, and Brian. And Brian did this imitation of Aunt Bertha and Aunt Nora, which I thought was hilarious. He put on wigs that were similar to theirs and he was talking like them. He was imitating them. It was so funny. It was all in good fun, but it was really, really funny. And this is where Torin convinces Chandrika to come with him to Patrick's housewarming party. Chandrika didn't want to go. She had no intentions of showing up, but Torin was like, look, I'm hosting it, so I really want you to be there. For nothing else, just be there for me. And so Chandrika finally agrees, and she says she's going to be going to the housewarming party with to be there to support Torin. Now we're at Kandi's house. They want to add something new to their dessert menu. And so they have all three of the old ladies cook up their best cake. And they were going to have like a cake eating, not a cake eating, but a cake testing contest. And they were going to decide whoever had the best cake, their cake was going to be featured on the dessert menu. So all in all, Aunt Nora brought the coconut cake, which was a coconut pound cake. Mama Joyce brought some type of whipped pineapple cake. And Aunt Bertha brought a pound cake. So Melvin showed up for that. We saw Melvin in that particular scene. And when it was all said and done, Mama Joyce won. Of course she won because, you know, that's Kandi's mom. And Kandi even voted for her mom's cake as the best tasting cake. I really thought that it would have been Aunt Nora or Aunt Bertha. Most likely Aunt Bertha, because even Kandi herself in her confessional, talked about how good Aunt Bertha's pound cake was. So why would you give your vote to Mama Joyce's whipped pineapple cake? And no one raved about that pineapple cake as much. No one raved about the pineapple cake as much as they did about the pound cake. So obviously, we know how the game goes with Kandi. Her mom can do no wrong. Her mom is the best at everything. So why even bother, Kandi? Why did you even bother having a contest? Just go ahead and whatever your mom is, what you think she's good at, just put that on the damn menu. Let's be done with it. So this was like a waste of a scene. Moving on to Dominique and Brandon. They're at the pet store, and when they're there, Brandon asks Dominique about going with him to the housewarming party. So Dominique was kind of like, well, we're not supposed to make it look like we're actually together. We're trying to like, really, tame it down about our relationship. And then if we arrive there together, what are they going to think? And so Brandon's like, I don't care what they think. I want you to come with me. And so Dominique goes ahead and she agrees to come with them. So this is the thing. What the hell has changed, Brandon, since Don Juan and Philip talked to you about fraternizing with the staff? What the hell has changed? It looked like the option was either don't be in a relationship with her or one of you would end up being transferred, and most likely it was going to be Brandon. So what has changed? Why are you showing up at a event where all of your coworkers are going to be at, all of your managers are going to be at, and you're going to walk in there with Dominique? So what has changed? You're still with her. Y'all are still together. Y'all are still working together. So if y'all can't make the changes on your own just to kind of cool it down a little bit, then they will definitely make the changes for you, and you're probably not going to like it. So we are at we're at Torrin's apartment, and Brian comes over with his soul rolls, and everybody is raving about these soul rolls on the show, that is. And I'm just like, wow, I would love to try one. Now, I wonder, and please, I hope that they end up putting those soul rolls on the OLG menu at all three of their restaurants. I hope that they do put that because everybody talks about how delicious they are. So you would think that, that they would include them. It would help out Brian. It will help out OLG. And so I really hope that they include the soul rolls on the menu, unless they have like a thing where they don't allow any type of menu item that wasn't created or cooked by the three old ladies. So Torrin tells Brian that he's back to hosting the housewarming party because remember, Patrick at first told him he wanted to hire him to do the housewarming, and then he told him no, and now he's telling him yes again. So Patrick, this girl Safari, she has you going up and down like a damn yo-yo. It's always first yes, and then no, and then yes, and then no. You're confusing everybody around you. You're confusing yourself. Fix it. So Torrin is going to be the one that's going to be hosting or putting together the housewarming party. And he tells Brian that he's not even going to get paid for it. He's going to do it completely for free because he asked Brian if he could donate some of his soul rolls to the event. And he can't pay him because he himself is not going to get paid. And so Brian was like, man, they're not even paying you. You're not going to get paid for doing the housewarming party. Torrin, they really take advantage of him because he likes what he does. You can tell that he does like this kind of stuff, and he does like the event planning and the decorating. He really is into that stuff. You can tell that the Kandi and her family, they take advantage of him. Kandi took advantage of him when he used to work for OLG, and he was supposed to be the event planner, but they had him doing the event planning and they had him working inside the restaurant. And I don't think that they increased his pay at all when he was doing all of that stuff. Where some people were just doing that one thing, he was doing a little bit of everything, and I don't think his money reflected that. Now he's doing the housewarming party for Patrick, and Patrick is not paying him for that. So this family is really taking advantage of Torrin, and I hope he realizes that. So at the housewarming, there's no furniture. There's no table. There's no chairs. There's no nothing. So Torrin has to go to OLG and get some stools and stuff for them to set up the food and whatever else. So the apartment is completely bare. I cannot tell if Safari has begun the decorating or she hasn't begun the decorating, or if she has completely finished the decorating. I don't know what's going on. By the fact that this apartment looks like an empty warehouse, I'm assuming she hasn't even started. So what is taking her so long? I have no idea. You can get chairs anywhere. Why don't you have chairs and a table in this damn apartment? What are y'all waiting for? Are you that broke, Patrick? Like, what's happening here? You can't even go to like a garage sale, a resale shop, Walmart, get you some foldable chairs, something, please. You're having a party and your guests are just going to be standing up the whole entire time, eating and drinking, standing up. Okay, Patrick. So the old ladies arrive, and of course, the first thing that they notice is there's no chairs. And they have to wheel out a suitcase for Aunt Bertha to sit on. Like, what are y'all doing? Why even bother hosting a housewarming party if you can't even make your guests feel like, this is a nice, warm, comfy, homey environment? Everybody's going to be standing around awkward and tired. And, the ladies in their heels are going to be in pain. So, why even bother with this? Why didn't you just postpone it or not do anything at all? And then when you get all your furniture, then have a little shindig then. Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. But we know how these reality TV stars, how they love to host events in uncompleted, under construction, unfurnished homes. So one of the aunties was like, why didn't he just rent some chairs? Yeah, Patrick, that was a good question. That was the best question. Patrick, why didn't you just rent some chairs out to make sure that the aunties were comfortable? Why not? So the egg rolls show up, or they were already there or whatever, and Todd was like, ooh, I really want to taste these famous egg rolls everybody's talking about. He's like, they better be good, I hope they're good. Shut up, Todd. So Todd takes a bite and he really, really likes it. And once again, I really hope that they put these egg rolls on the damn OLG menu. I think that's going to be great for business, great for Brian. It's going to be a win-win all the way around for everybody. So Kandi and Todd in their confessional, they talk about Safari, because at the party we see Safari sitting there not doing much. I'm thinking she's supposed to be like, at least helping with hosting, but she's just sitting there doing nothing and not talking to anybody. And in their confessional, Todd and Kandi say that Safari really doesn't talk much and she really doesn't smile. Yeah, because she has no personality. Safari has zero personality. Even in her own place of business, she's very deadpan. She's very like just nothing. You would have thought that when she was doing that procedure on Mama Joyce to make her butt bigger, that she would have been, cracking some jokes, that she would have been, really giving a good explanation about what was being done. But she's just like a woman of very few words. She doesn't really talk much. Even when her and Patrick are talking, it's just nothing. She gives like barely gives when she does talk, she barely can form a sentence that has more than 2 or 3 words. She's basically like a one word type of person. Just a very pretty girl, but no personality. I'm not saying that she's dumb. I'm not saying that she's stupid. I'm just saying that she has no personality. And when they go get the furniture, they need to also buy a personality for her. So then Brian, out of nowhere, completely out of nowhere, busts out with a mic, and there's a guy there with a damn guitar. And the money that they used to pay that guy who played the guitar, they could have used that money to rent out a couple of chairs, but I digress. So Brian, all of a sudden there's a microphone there, a guy playing a guitar, and he starts singing Amazing Grace. And this song lasted like an hour and a half. He sung one song that lasted an hour and a half. He put in so many runs, so many hills and valleys in that song. It took forever for him to get through the first verse. I don't even know why he was singing Amazing Grace. I don't know what was going on. I guess Torrin was like, yeah, we need some entertainment, so Brian's going to sing. Now, Torrin, I really thought that you were a really good event planner from what everybody else was saying and the fact that Kandi hired you back. So I thought you really knew what you were doing. But if this is your idea of entertainment, we need to rethink that, because no, that was no bueno. Why is he singing a church song at a housewarming party? And why is it lasting, an hour and 30 minutes? And where's the real talent? Where's the real entertainment? Moving on from that. So we all know that Chandrika had agreed to show up for the housewarming party. So all of a sudden, she shows up, Chandrika, her boyfriend June, her fiance June, Dominique, and Brandon. So before they go inside, they're all talking outside, and Dominique says, well, let me go upstairs into the party and see and kind of fill it out and see where we're at, then I'll come back and get you. So she goes upstairs and she talks to Patrick, and of course, when Patrick is talking to any female, Safari is right there. So she goes upstairs, she talks to Patrick, and she says, you know what, Chandrika is downstairs and they want to know if they can come up to the party. And Safari says, no, they can just stay out there. Okay, so the decision has been made. There's no conversing, there's no negotiating, there's no conversation about, there's just nothing. Safari has made the decision, so we all have to live by that. So, someone was telling them, we'll go downstairs and talk to her or something like that. But all of a sudden, Patrick decides to go downstairs to talk to Chandrika. And of course, Safari is right there behind him. So they go up to them, and Torin is also with them. And so Torin, the first thing he says when he sees Chandrika, he's like, "Oh my God, girl, why aren't you inside? Why are you out here?" So then Patrick explains that yes, because there was this whole issue before he even left the apartment. After Dominique told him that Chandrika was outside, I think it was Kandi that asked him, "Well, was she even invited? Did you invite her?" And Patrick was like, "Well, I had invited everyone." And so then they show us a montage of him inviting Chandrika because they were all out together. The staff was all out together at a bar, and Patrick had invited everybody, and Chandrika was there, and he's like, I'm inviting all of y'all to my housewarming party. And then he talked to his girlfriend, and Safari was like, "Nope, you're not gonna, Chandrika's not coming up here." So then he never told Chandrika that she was disinvited, and he had plenty of opportunity of telling her because there were so many events that were happening where they were together where he could have told her, "Okay, I'm sorry, but I can't, I'm gonna have to disinvite you, or you can't come to the housewarming party," whatever. He never did. So this whole time Chandrika thinks that it's okay for her to come to the housewarming party. So when he goes downstairs to talk to her, he tells her that it was a big miscommunication. No, it wasn't. It wasn't a miscommunication. It was just a matter of you being scared to confront the issue and to tell her the what's up, and you can't go against your girlfriend. So he tells Chandrika, "Yes, I did invite you, but after talking to Safari about it, she wasn't comfortable with you being here. And so I never said anything to you because I just assumed that you weren't going to come anyway." Why would you assume that? You invited the girl to come over, and how do you don't know if her coming to your house means as much to her as it does to you. To her, it was probably no big deal to come to your housewarming party. Well, I mean, we kind of know that it was, but you don't know that. So she probably thought it was no big deal to come to your housewarming party. You and your girlfriend make it a bigger deal than what it is. You turn it into like a federal case of whether or not Chandrika should be invited to this stupid, poorly planned, boring, uneventful housewarming party. I mean, as if you were hosting something at the Taj Mahal, like you were hosting something at, I don't know, Trump Towers or something, some huge, big A-list event, and you were trying to decide, should she come or should she? You have this tired, boring, poorly put together little housewarming party with your two plants and no furniture, and you're so worried about Chandrika wanting to come to this house. Man, if you don't. Anyways, so he told Chandrika it was a miscommunication. "I'm so sorry, but Safari wasn't comfortable." And then he turns over to Chandrika's boyfriend, June, and he's like, "You understand, when your girl's not comfortable with something, you know how it is. You don't want to disrespect your woman. You got a girl, I got a girl. We don't want to disrespect," oh, whatever the situation is, whatever he said. And so then, he didn't say, "Okay, let's all go up and, let's go upstairs." No, he was like, "Yeah, I'm so sorry. I invited you, but she wasn't comfortable with it. And you know how it is." And so then Chandrika took her man's arm and they turned around and they left. They walked away. And I'm thinking to myself, what are we doing? What is this? This is stupid. There's nothing going on with the stupid house. I mean, it's better that she didn't go because the only people that really suffered were the people that actually were at this housewarming party. She didn't miss out on anything at all. But why are we making a big deal about it? Y'all are not together. Y'all were not even really together to begin with. What is the big deal? Why is Safari so threatened by Chandrika? Like, why? I don't understand. Why are you threatened by her? Do you think, what's going on here? Chandrika has moved on. Patrick has moved on. Why couldn't she come to the housewarming party? Y'all work together. So the whole time that you're with Safari, if there's any kind of an event going on, y'all can't go to be there at the same. Like, what is happening here? I don't know. So after this stupidness, and then they all blame Torin for inviting Chandrika. And to me, I was like, Torin did nothing wrong. Why not just be adults, be mature about it, and just get on with your lives. Stop harping on something that really wasn't a big deal to begin with. I thought Torrin had a great idea to bring Chandrika over. Let's all hang out. Let's all act like adults. Let's all have a good time and then go home. That's all it's going to be. But the more you try to avoid Chandrika, the more life you're giving something that you claim really didn't matter or really doesn't matter to you now, where you're making it seem like all you do is think about Chandrika morning, noon, and night because you're constantly thinking about, well, if I do this, Safari's going to get mad. If I do that, Safari's going to get uncomfortable. All you do is think about Chandrika. Moving on. So Brandon and Dominique, they're at this stupid housewarming party and they're all over each other. Everybody can see it. And it's like, okay, what are y'all doing? What the hell has changed since Philip and Don Juan talked to you, Brandon? They told you that you can't fraternize with the staff. Someone in management cannot go out with a staff member. That's just a big no-no. It's too much of a conflict of interest, so you can't do it. And so he was like, well, we're just going to tone it down, or we're just going to we're just not, we're going to go. I don't know what he told them. I don't know if he was trying to tell them that they were going to break up just so that they can still continue working together at the same restaurant, or if they were just going to scale back. I don't know what he told them, but if the issue was you're fraternizing with Chandrika and not, with Dominique, and now you show up at this party with Dominique, and you're still her manager, and she still works under you, what has changed? You're still fraternizing with the staff. So it was not a good idea to come to this party together, and it was even a worse idea to be all over each other, lovey-dovey, hugged up, kissing up on each other. There was even a scene where he was like biting the waistband of her pants. That's how crazy it got. But you still want to work together, and you don't understand why management doesn't want you fraternizing with the staff. Anyways, these people are stupid. Patrick, you're stupid. You and Safari are stupid. Both of y'all have to go because y'all are not bringing anything to this damn show. And was Melvin even there? He went to go get a haircut before the party started. Did he ever come back? I have no idea because he's such a non-factor to the show. I don't even know why he's there. Anywho, that is my review. Thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far, I do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.